Hello everyone, it's Jenny. Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're going to talk about the robe that I made for my wedding. It's one of the DIYs that I talked about in my last video. If you guys didn't see that video, make sure you check it out. I wore it when we were getting ready early in the morning. I made myself one and I made my bridesmaid and my maid of honor their own robes. I thought it was super cute because it went with like the theme of the wedding. I was able to choose all the vinyl colors and like the font and everything that went with it using my Cricut machine. So I'm so excited. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go. You're going to start off by opening up your Cricut design space. I went and opened up the design that I wanted that I found off of Google. I thought it would be great for the logo right in front of the robe. After that, I started to shrink it down to the size that I wanted the logo monogram to be. Then I opened up a text box and I typed out the letter J for my first initial. And the font style that I used was called Stylish Calligraphy Demo. Once I was happy with how the design turned out, I changed the color of each of the designs so the Cricut machine knows not to cut on the same vinyl, but you'll see that at a later step. So I should have mentioned this before, but you want to go ahead and measure out your garment first to see what can fit and how big you want your design to be. After I measured everything out, it was time for me to move on to my name that I'm going to put on the right sleeve of my robe. Don't forget to size it the right size that you want it to be. I keep forgetting that those, inches up there are inches and not centimeters. So I kept playing around with it, but just make sure you keep that in mind of how big it's going to turn out. Then afterwards, I just changed my name to the same color as the vine because I wanted to print on the same vinyl, like I said earlier. After that, it was time to work on the design that's going to go to the back of the robe, and I chose the word bride, of course. Unfortunately, because I only have the 12x12 Cricut mat, I had to split the word up. This is a great hack for those that don't have the longer mats. So what I did was I ungrouped the word, then I welded them back together. So now I have two different pieces, BRI and DE. Just don't forget when you iron it on that it still spells bride. Okay, it was time for me to make my vine that goes underneath the word bride. I was not able to ungroup the image, so what I did was I took a snapshot of half the image and the other half, uploaded it to the Cricut design space as separate images and removed all the background. Now I was able to resize them the size that I wanted, but don't forget to use the ruler above to measure out your image so it's not too big or too wide, you know what I mean? You just don't want it to look weird once it is ironed onto your robe. So that's what you're seeing me do here. I'm just putting all the designs together to make sure it doesn't look off. Now that I'm happy with how everything turned out, it was time to start cutting it. So go ahead and click on Make It. See how they grouped all the designs that have the same color into one? You don't have to do this step if you don't want to, but I like to try to save as much vinyl as possible, so I usually try to group them together and then I'll just cut it out. But don't forget, because these are heat transfers, you need to mirror the images and set your Cricut to iron on. Now that you're done with all that, it's time for you to put on your heat transfer onto your mat. Just make sure that you're putting the shiny part facing down. And now it's time to watch the magic happen. After it's all cut out, it's time for you to remove all the iron-on vinyls that is not needed. Unfortunately, I don't have the Cricut heat press, so I am using my regular iron. Make sure the area that you're going to put your design on is nice and smooth and free of wrinkles and crinkles. Grab your design, iron on, now place it into the space that you want it to be. Make sure that it's nice and straight and how you want the design to look like on your robe. Grab a piece of parchment paper and place it on top. Grab your iron and go ahead and put it right on top. Don't move the iron around just in case the design moves at the bottom. Definitely recommend you checking on the instructions for your specific heat transfer vinyl. Other ones can be different, so make sure you check that before you start ironing anything onto your clothes. I left mine on for about 25 seconds. I let it cool for a couple of seconds and I slowly peeled off the clear plastic. If you don't see it fully coming off, put the plastic back and grab parchment paper and iron on a little bit more. And voila! Look how pretty it came out. Now that you saw how everything was done, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up this robe. I really loved how all the designs turned out. It was super unique to, I guess, my own wedding because it was like my own touches to it, but I thought it was super adorable and turned out beautiful. It was definitely personalized to myself and my bridesmaids and my maid of honor. Hey. So what did you guys think of the robe? I thought it was so adorable. I really wish that we had some photos from the wedding day to show you, but the photographer still has it. We haven't gotten it back yet, but it looked so adorable on us. I loved it. I hope that you guys try something out like this for your own wedding. Make sure to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!